before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our CARES team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. What's happening, folks? How are y'all doing? Welcome to greencardguys.tv. My name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States, helping you solve your immigration problem. Welcome. Today is April 23rd, 2023. Let me know where you're watching from. I see some questions here. Apologize for the slight delay here. Just changing up the camera setup to be a little bit better. So let's see here. I got some questions here, of course. Niharika, 1234. Hopefully you're still on. And okay, if you're new to the channel, I practice immigration law. I'm managing attorney of Ting Law Group, and here in with a physical office in Houston, Texas. So if you have a question about immigration, specifically more so to actually apply, you want to make sure you're eligible, maybe your case is stuck. If you're looking to kick people outside America, this is not the channel, okay? So don't ask those questions. We're helping people secure their legal status to live and work in America legally, alrighty? And I just got done with a team meeting. That's one of the reasons I'm a little bit later than usual start time. And we're talking about webinars, okay? Because I realize some of y'all are definitely, just a little more wanting more information. You want more so that you're not sure if you're even eligible to apply, or right now you're not eligible, but you're like, how can you be eligible in the future? So we'll have webinar topics for you. So if you're on especially TikTok and Instagram, it's easier to send a DM and just send us your email, your name, and the webinar topic or the immigration topic you want to learn more about. And we'll try our best to do that twice a month. And it's likely not going to be on these platforms. So let's see here. Welcome to drop your question in the comment section. And if you are interested for a session with one of our team members, our CARES team specialists, if you're wondering, like you have an idea you're eligible, or maybe your case is stuck, you want to make sure you're eligible, okay? You can talk to one of our team members. The first person you talk to is not an attorney. They're a CARES team specialist. We train them literally every day. They're probably tired of hearing from me, but of course, I manage the law firm, so I want to make sure everyone who contacts us have the peace of mind that that I'm training my team. Okay, we're not just going fly by night here. We want to make sure we help you secure your legal status to live and work in America legally. So here's the topic of today. All right, here's some tips for you on a marriage green card interview specifically. Okay, because I know a lot of y'all, fortunately, or at least maybe your friend got the case they applied a year ago, and they got the interview waived. That's wonderful, completely wonderful. But realistically, in terms of like the future, I don't think that's always going to happen, right? I mean, I'm just kind of thinking, like, if I was working for USCIS, if I was a leader for USCIS, I don't think I would waive interviews, because sure, not to say like clients provide fake documents. Our clients definitely don't. I've heard of that. But still, just documents alone, I don't think is enough. But take advantage of the situation where they're waiving interviews. But even if you get the interview scheduled, don't be scared, folks. That doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Hey, what's up, Red Eagle Law? Good to see you. Hope Callie's treating you right. I still need to catch up with you. Okay. I need to schedule a meeting with you. So I love it when other attorneys join, because we love, it's always great to share information with each other. I want to answer some questions. Keep dropping in the comment section. Really appreciate it. I just want to share a couple more tips about the marriage green card, the residency adjustment of status interview. Okay. So here it is. you want to make sure you provide the updated documents to the interview. Because again, you may have heard from a friend that their interview got waived, and then you got surprised that your case got scheduled for interview, and then you're scrambling to download all these. You just scrambled to download all these bank statements, and then even you have the joint bank account. Maybe you didn't use the joint bank account that often. So that's really tip number two. Okay. Again, tip number one is to download the bank statements or really provide those updated financial documents. Okay. Number two is to use your bank account, the joint shared bank account. Just having the bank account is not enough. Okay. You actually have to use it. So it's okay if you use a debit card. You don't have to use a credit card. It can be a debit card. Um, Yeah, that is interesting, Diana. On TikTok, Google's something is listening to us, these apps, because you just said you just Googled immigration lawyer. Isn't that weird? So for better or worse, I mean, it's helpful for you and I. But other than that, I try not to have a ton of apps on the phone. Okay, so tip number three, folks. Tip number three. Don't take the interview for granted. So again, I'm not trying to scare y'all, right? Because I said it can be just fine, but you need to be prepared. So don't take it for granted and be prepared is really two things in one here, two tips in one, because you don't want when I say be prepared, I mean literally prepare for the type of questions they could ask you. Because you might think, especially if you follow by yourself, you might think that the paperwork you sent in is just fine and they didn't send you requests for evidence. They didn't send you a notice for intent of the deny and you got interviewed like, okay, cool, we're chill here. You're gonna be just fine. Of course, we get phone calls, we get inquiries from potential clients like yourselves. And then y'all ask, like, what the hell just happened? Like, why did I get denied? And you're confused. And we look at the file and we're like, clear as day. Right. So I'm not here to try and make you feel bad, but and that's the thing, like, some people are, like, on paper and face to face on video call, everything's just fine, like, you like, we can pretty much we have a pretty good radar if y'all are legit or not, and whenever I did call someone out, I had to fire them because of fake marriage. I had to fire them. I took an oath in my state bar license in Texas. We gotta file proper cases that are bona fide marriage cases, so I called them out and they told the truth. And fortunately, I was able to figure that out before we filed the case. Now, I'm not trying to say other lawyers wouldn't call you out. I know a lot of great immigration lawyers, but there's some bad apples out there. Mariah, I'm in Houston, Texas, and we accept clients all over the world. All right. Thank you for asking. So here's the deal. Don't be scared, but you need to be prepared. So, of course, with an attorney on your by your side, okay? Think about it like this. You're Batman, we're Robin, okay? We're right there with you. You're Batman, we're Robin, okay? Um, so that's how lawyers work. Some people think lawyers are like the miracle workers. I mean, yes, a lot of them are, but for the immigration especially, you're Batman, you're leading it, but we're guiding you, okay? Robin's there to guide you. This is the first reference I made to that, so hopefully that's a good one, if that makes sense. All right, now, so to be what we do, you're wondering what does Ting Law Group do that maybe other law firms might do? I don't know, but what we do is that we have a video, a series of videos, kind of like YouTube style or TikTok, but a little bit longer to explain the process, how to be prepared, what to be prepared about as soon as we receive the interview notice. Okay, then we also invite you to schedule a meeting with one of our premier attorneys. All right. And then we even invite you again if you want to. We want to make sure that you are mindset ready for the interview. Again, not trying to scare you, but yes, a lot of people think that they have, or they know they have a legit marriage. So because they know they have a legit marriage, that they think the USCIS officer can read their mind via the documents and also through the documents, right? And sometimes, unfortunately, they file your own case. Like some people have asked us, John, is a marriage certificate sufficient? Is it enough? If you're asking me that question, I'll tell you right now, you definitely need a hire attorney. Okay. All right. So, which by the way, I think we're reasonable cost compared to other people. I talked to another attorney. I just came back from a conference last week. I talked to other immigration attorneys, and I was like, "Whoa, you charge way more than we do." And I thought we were. I mean, that makes me think that we're more reasonable. So yeah, please. By the way, please share the channel on your respective platform, and tap the screen or like, or however you do it. Share it live and follow. Especially if you appreciate the way I share information. I just try to get straight to the punch. Okay. All right, straight to it because a lot of people just, I mean, I do yap a lot, I do talk a lot, but hopefully you get some real value here. Tips. Okay, now I could go on and on about tips, but let me answer some questions. Let me go to YouTube here because someone commented earlier, I think yesterday. Yesterday? Okay, well, Niharika, if you're on, your question about tourist visa to get your stuff from storage. You had two EADs, one from 765V and VAWA. Uh, Sounds like you're outside America. No overstay since last H4 expired. Only legal presence, no status. Will it trigger ban on return? So the unlawful presence ban is not triggered when you return. It's technically triggered when you leave the United States, which the government will tell you, "Hey, you're about to leave." The custom officer not going to tell you, "Hey, you're leaving the United States, so your bar is triggered now," or the unlawful presence ban is triggered. Or bar, however you want to call it. Pretty much the same thing. So it already got triggered in general. But you said no overstay. So that's good if no overstay. Um, but you definitely, Niharika, if you're still on, similar to anyone else who wants more specific one-on-one legal advice, it's really in your best interest to speak to an immigration attorney one-on-one. Okay, of course, it'll be our pleasure to assist you. Um, and on TikTok, at least, you can go to the profile up here, click a link right under my picture, okay, and you'll get the calendar link. All right. You do have to answer a couple questions. Now we do have a five. I can't say it out loud. We have this amount reservation fee. Think of it as a hotel. Okay. So you reserve a spot because there's been a couple bad apples. People schedule and they no show. Like, isn't that rude? Like in your own, if you have a business, especially you work for a business and they don't show up, that's pretty rude. So we've had to start doing that. This amount, and you do have to pay that amount. It's less than a cup of coffee. Isn't that crazy these days? Maybe even eggs, depending where you are. Okay. All right. Next question, Freddie. Freddie on YouTube, and I'll answer some question on TikTok next. You finally got an interview in May or for May. Okay, that's coming up. You're worried because you noticed the paralegal put your spouse's dad as being alive and they're deceased. Will this be a problem at the interview? Assuming there's a marriage case and not through one of your parents, then which presume I'm making a safe assumption is not through your parent, then that's okay. I'm pretty sure that's okay. It is a mistake, clerical error, of course. But what we do in a situation like that in an interview is that we would notify the officer, hey, by the way, because they're supposed to ask you at some point, like either in the very beginning or at the end. I would think in the beginning because I've gotten it mixed, but I usually, whenever I'm there, we're proactive, or our attorney is proactive to let them know, hey, there we do, officer, sir, man, we do have a couple of things to update on the form. Maybe even address change. Let me know when you would like me to share with you. So just being super respectful of their own process instead of just going in and just telling them because they might not be ready for it. Right? They got a lot of things on their own head to go down their own checklist. So whenever you do update Freddie, update them on that. Let them know the page number, the part number, and the question number. Okay. Let me answer a question on TikTok. Oh, and then I'll get to Instagram, a question on there. Let me go all the way back up. So hopefully y'all stayed on. Thank you for your patience. Thank you so much for your questions. Because I know it's not easy to find the right lawyer to answer your questions. Okay, you're a U.S. citizen, Mohammed on TikTok. You're a U.S. citizen. You applied for your brothers, And your family, how long is the wait time? Well, you said and family. In their family, okay, your brother was F4. So you might know this that unfortunately F4 is a long wait time, long, long wait time. And without even having to know your country or their country of nationality, that's generally 10 years. So with that being said, Mohammed, I really encourage your siblings to check also because you being a US citizen, your family, your brothers can't assume that you're always going to be checking the visa bulletin. But since it does take at least 10 to 12 years in general for the next step, then they do need to check because once that step passes 1 year after your prior date shows up on the bulletin, sayonara, you got to refile the whole case. So again, it's just good practice to have it in your calendar to check every single year, even though we know it could be 10 years away, 8 years away. You just got to get in that practice. Okay. Just like, just like your football team. I'm talking about soccer. Okay. I'm sure they're not great just because they just show up to the field. They got to practice. The same thing for your immigration case. All right. Now to TikTok. What's going on? Thanks. I'm sorry. To Instagram here. All right. In Atara 88, if your lawyer doesn't want to help you about expediting EED, can you do it yourself? Yeah, you can, but it depends on your reason. I don't want to call that law firm because I don't know your situation, but maybe they already told you that your situation doesn't qualify for expedite. But I don't know. Some attorneys charge extra for it. So obviously, if they charge extra for it, do it yourself. You don't need to file a form to request expedite through USCIS. USCIS.gov has the EMMA website chat. From what I can tell, it's a human on the other side. Um, Maybe the first message is automated, but after that, it appears to be a human. So they don't care for documents right now. They just need to know the reason. And then if they want documents, they're supposed to email you asking you the facts. So you don't necessarily have to have the evidence ready, but it would make sense to have evidence ready just in case. Yeah, related to job loss can help. So maybe like a letter from HR saying you've been terminated or mutual release or something could be helpful for you. Okay, Inatara. Alrighty. Thanks for the questions. What's up, Bomb Diggity? Let me hop over to the YouTube over here. Freddie, thanks so much for sharing your concern. Your fear is to be put in admin processing for any silly mistake. Absolutely. I mean, we double, triple check as part of our due diligence process. Um, but admin processing, it's not really because of that, something like that. Okay. Admin processing generally is related to because of background check screening. And background check screening is out of anyone's control. Is essentially the U.S. government depends on subcontracted agencies or companies to handle, and also like CIA, FBI, those interagencies to go through background check. Some nationalities don't take as long. Think about post 9/11. So, seeing your last name, it's likely not going to be an issue compared to other countries. I say likely, I can't guarantee for you. Alrighty. All right, folks on TikTok. You're welcome in, Atara. All right. I think some of y'all have some court hearings you asked about. So if you have a court hearing coming up, always just a hot tip right here. You do want to check the EOIR. You just type in Google if you haven't seen this before. EOIR, automated case information, or at least some parts of the first two phrases. And it should pop up the first search result, the .gov link. You always want to make sure any government website, .gov, and type in your 8-digit or 9-digit A number, identification number, and make sure that your court date is still scheduled for that date. Because sometimes the court clerk or the judge's assistant may change the schedule because of something more pressing coming up. Okay, maybe a detainee, someone who's been detained, took over your spot in the hearing. So especially if you live far from the city of your court, your local court, you definitely want to check that. Okay. But yeah, let me answer more specific questions about the court hearing. Let's see. Jazz on TikTok, judge ordered removal when the second hearing was canceled. Does this happen? It could happen. But how was it canceled? Did you see it online, like that website I just mentioned? Did you see that there? It said hearing canceled, or at one point it would make more like, how did you get notified it was canceled? Did you get an email? Did you get a letter? I think the best proof in this kind of situation, if you got a letter in the mail and it said canceled, then that's your proof to be able to get that case reopened. Because who knows, maybe it happens, but like you need to act quickly here because generally you have less than 30 days from the date of removal to get it reopened. Okay. Um, Not saying it's not possible outside of 30 days, but it's always best within 30 days. All right. So happy to chat right up here or fill out that form above there on TikTok at least. How y'all doing today? Thank you so much for the questions. I will try my best to answer them. Okay, Mappa Lifestyle. You got a court master hearing in Georgia. Can you help? We can check for you. If not us, we have referrals in Georgia, in your state. I don't know exactly where in Georgia, but I'm making a safe assumption Atlanta. We definitely know some attorneys in Atlanta. But if yours is, if your court allows you attorneys to show up remotely, like WebEx conference is what they use, then we're happy to help. But we always like to check before we offer you any person a quote that has a court case. Emma doesn't help. Emma just a chatbot. Oh, well, that stinks. I thought I'll just try again. I'll keep trying. If that clearly has not worked for you, then you got to call in. Okay, you got to call in. I think it's 1-800. Don't hold me to it. 1-800-375-5283. It's like they play in a commercial because I just have to memorize the phone number. Pretty sure that's the number. Good day, Chanel Davidson. Thank you. Happy to share information. Absolutely. Niharika on YouTube. Good morning. Your VAWA got denied 10 days back. Okay, I feel like I saw your comment or just someone else before. Wanted to apply for tourist visa, never had overstay beyond 180 days. Okay. You had C9. Okay, before. You definitely should talk to an immigration attorney one-on-one. But we need to take a look at your documents. It's not so much triggering the ban on return, it's more about if it's already been triggered. Yeah, you have to check your dates of travel. Okay. Because 765V, I don't believe, I could be wrong, but I don't believe having a work permit through 765V gives you the same type of scenario where you can stop the unlawful presence counting the days of that. Okay. But if you schedule with us, then we can check that for you. Okay. Follow-up question to yours. You want to apply for VAWA appeal on your own? Yeah, I remember someone else got denied. I don't know if that was you, but because you're abroad, it's probably difficult to get a copy of that. I don't know if you provide a different address for someone else to receive it in the United States, this decision. But a lot of people ask about appeal, but I wouldn't just go straight to appeal without knowing why they denied it. Maybe they sent you RFE, but you didn't get a copy of it. Then I definitely would not appeal in that situation. And the word appeal is used loosely, but USCIS does not use the word appeal. It would be a motion to reopen or reconsider, for example. I mean, of course, generally speaking, we'll just say appeal. And yes, I'm a little biased. You should get an attorney because at this point you already got denied the first time. So that's a good segue for me to mention. If you have been denied already, please don't mess around. You've already spent money on the process with immigration. Okay, the fees have gone up for almost every application for USCIS. If I presume you want legal status, if you want the journey to get that legal status as less friction as possible, more peace of mind, as maximum peace of mind as possible. Yes, in general, you should hire an immigration attorney. Now, trying to give you a short story, don't just hire any attorney, right? Don't just hire anyone because a consultant or a notario will tell you, "Oh yeah, I know how to fill out the form." It's not. I think y'all on the live shows on all our platforms can appreciate and understand it's not just about forms. Because that the case, then you want to be asking these questions, right? Think about that. So, but again, I always like to promote and help y'all be able to file your own if you can, because I know everyone's budget is different, but everyone has a different level of concern, different challenges. But I can share unilaterally, unilaterally, that if you have been denied before, you've been order removed before, and you just found out, or you still don't know why you were denied, or why you got a request for evidence, that's a pretty good sign you need to talk to an attorney one on one, okay? At the very least. Okay, now let me answer the next question. Chanel Davidson, what if you had no attorney from initial stage? Would it be feasible to have one on standby for your upcoming interview? Um, we're happy to do that, but standby, the word standby depends, you know, first of all, a lot of attorneys don't, law firms don't like to do that. And I can understand, but we would need lead time because usually, let's say you receive the interview notice, let's say today, but your actual interview is at least 3 weeks from now. Our law firm would have enough time to prepare you. Okay, 3 weeks time, but you would need to obviously pay the deposit. You need, especially Chanel, where you at? But we're have a physical office in Houston, but we have associate attorneys in Florida and Denver. So if you have a case there in those cities, then you don't need to pay for the travel fee, right? But I mean, if you're considering our team, but otherwise we can just refer you to someone else. But if they're willing to accept your case at the late stage. But for us, yeah, we accept cases. You're in New York. Well, I love New York. I have family in that area. So when did you file your case? All right. So yeah, but we're happy to do it. We're even happy to help respond, help you prepare for response to requests for evidence, notice of intent denied. But let me answer some questions already. Uh, Jazz. Oh, you have asylum case. So Jazz on TikTok, you say order removed, but you said you have a silent case. Do you know if Department of Homeland Security attorneys may have, like, were you there for? Do you have an attorney? Because maybe your case got dismissed and you don't actually have to show up because you have a silent case. It's not. It's not just because you have a asylum case does not necessarily mean automatic. A case that got dismissed for a positive reason or may have been a negative reason to order removed. So, but if you don't know my question, then you definitely need to answer the form up here. Okay. Okay. I'm just trying to see who to answer next. Okay, Adrian on Instagram. You got a green card. You're a green card holder who petitioned for your wife. Her I-130 was approved Jan 2024. Wonderful. Okay, congrats on that first step. But her 485 is still pending. Any suggestion why it's taking so long? It could be about your medical exam or her medical exam. Okay. Did you file a medical exam with the 485 application? If you did, then I'm not trying. I don't want to make up reasons here, but I can say that generally USCIS, when they approve the petition, the 45 for us, it's been typically like the next day we receive the paper notice. So maybe they have a different situation. Okay. But did your Adrian, did your wife, because you're a resident and she filed the 45, is your wife a maintained her status? So that could be the issue because most people who the sponsor is a resident, the immigrant beneficiary did not maintain their status. So I'm actually curious because a lot of people ask, but they're not able to respond. I'm curious, did your wife maintain her status? Like, I don't know, maybe your wife is here on a student visa, and if still current, then yes, then she can still be eligible. But folks, that is another example of why having an immigration attorney on your side, like Batman and Robin, tag teaming here, okay? We have access to an attorney, okay? You can schedule a meeting, self-schedule. You don't even have to call in or text us to ask us if you can schedule. You can just schedule on your own. Okay, we have a link under our email signature box, and you can ask questions. In fact, we actually have a lot of FAQs. As you can imagine, I go live show almost every day. I wasn't able to go live yesterday. Had a team meeting during lunchtime, but um, yeah, we want to make sure you're comfortable in filing the case because it's a lot. Hire attorney is not cheap. I think a lot of y'all know that. And if you are paying someone lower fee and you're like, "Oh, I got a steal. I I was able to get a good deal with attorney." I mean, I think we charge reasonable, but that's a red flag, folks. I really had to say it. If you have to tell yourself like, "Man, I got a good deal with an attorney." That is a red flag to you that you should think to yourself, "Why is it such a good deal?" Like, are they gonna you have to think like a tech company, like you're paying like a tech software. Are they gonna provide you like you can is there a way to submit a ticket? Can you ask questions anytime you can? Like I do that with my CPA and a bookkeeping team. Like how often can I contact you? Because reasonably with professionals, I have to know I can't just email them. Yeah, I can't email them all the time, but are they gonna respond? Right? Like how often can I meet with them? So those are reasonable questions when you are considering to hire an attorney. How often can you meet with them? All right. Now I'm just going on a rant here. But Adrian, back to you on Instagram. Your follow up. Thanks for sharing. You said she entered the country with a visa, so that's great. But that's not enough. Okay, that is not maintaining status. That is entering the United States with the visa, but that is not maintaining status unless your case got approved. Is going to be approved within the time of her validity date on the I-94. And so even on the passport, I just got mine renewed, but I just flip it. If you just open up the passport and you see the fancy seal, which most people think is a visa, or I mean, it is a visa, but really what you want to pay attention to is the I-94, which is not in the passport for recent entrance. They changed it to electronic online. You just type in CBP I-94, you'll find the website. But entering the country with a visa is only one consideration. The second thing, when the sponsor is a resident, is you have to make sure he or she has maintained status, or they. Trying to be politically correct. All right, I'm just switching back and forth, different inquiries, questions here. Thank you so much for your trust on asking these questions. Okay, we got Hardarsha on TikTok. You have an in naturalization interview tomorrow. Wow, that's great. But your country of citizenship passport is missing. What do you do? Um, They probably want to see it because of all the different entries, possibly, but most of the time they just look at the photo. So, um, I know I've never actually been in this situation. If you just someone didn't have their passport, let me double check here for you if I can pull it up real quick. Let me see if I can pull up one of our cases, the interview notice. You definitely need to bring your green card. Okay. think I got it right here. Notices. All right. Yeah, you do have to bring your passport or any other documents you use in connection with any entries into the US. So understanding the purpose of why they're asking for a passport is to know the different entry dates into US. So if you don't have the passport right now, maybe you lost it or something, then then you have to find other documents, maybe a flight itinerary. You want to think one of our core values is to think open-minded because we know some clients don't have the primary document as evidence. So we have to think of what could be secondary. So maybe like a flight itinerary, your flight ticket, basically, your flight email confirmation. So of any entries back into the US. So hopefully that can help. That's just what I can think of off the top of my head right now. Okay, so let's see here. Anthony on Instagram, you had your EAD in January. I think you mean your work permit 765 was approved, but you don't have your actual EAD. Oh, you do have your EAD, okay, but yet to receive your parole and green card. So I don't remember what you applied for. Is it through marriage? Oh, R1. Okay, you're on R1. Yeah, it's gonna take a while. Okay, it's the EB4 category, so it's gonna take a while. Anthony, you live in New York, Adrian? Okay, cool. I think there's someone else that mentioned New York as well here. Okay, great. Thanks for sharing. I'm always interested how far the channel has reached. Elaine, good afternoon. How long after landed in America a green card holder can file for his or her mother? ASAP. You don't have to wait, Elaine. Now that you got the green card, you can provide proof of it. You can file for other family members, of course, as long as eligible. You don't. There's no waiting period. Absolutely. Go ahead and get that sucker filed. No, Anthony, I don't have the visa bulletin popped up. Maybe that could be for a webinar. If you DM us, my team can put it on the list. I'm trying to be more cognizant and aware of how far I should go with certain questions. You know what I mean? Trying to be respectful of other people and their questions. But if people want me to check the visa bulletin, I'm probably not going to do that anymore in a live show. That will be for a webinar because it does take a while to go through it. Again, just trying to be respectful of other people's question. Uh, you had a lawyer, Jazz? Okay. See, I don't know the deal on TikTok. It like scrolls it all the way down to the more recent comments. So apologies here. So that's why some of y'all think I skip, but that's not my intention. Okay, Island Girl. Okay, your question. Good morning or good afternoon, or at least for me. How to get a response after receiving 221G form docs requested were submitted and it's been a while. What's been a while to you? I mean, that's the thing about TikTok. I ask a question and then I got to scroll all the way down. So I apologize. But so I might not see the answer. But here's the deal. Generally, it's 6 months minimum before we file a lawsuit. Okay. Minimum 6 months. It could be a little bit longer for others, but minimum 6 months. And hopefully, depending on country nationality, and of course, your consular embassy receiving the background check information and also your response in a timely manner. Usually, folks, it's your response is not the reason delayed. I think everyone has contacted us. They respond timely. It's more about the background check. If that's what they claim, that's taking a while, which is usually the case. But there's also been a scenario we do help with some folks where we request a motion to reconsider with the consular embassy. Unfortunately, it's worked out for us. Okay, but hopefully you don't have to do that. That might be an option other than a mandamus lawsuit, but it depends on the facts, like why they denied it. Like if some people don't even get the request for documents, but they're just told you're in admin processing, you're definitely in a black hole because like you didn't even they didn't even ask you anything. So you definitely know that in that situation, it's more about background check, and that's when we the action plan would be a mandamus lawsuit. Okay. But how to get a response? Those are the solutions that I just mentioned. It sounds like you just got that 221G recently, so you can't really, other than responding back, there's nothing else you can do right now at this moment, other than contact us and just being ready for our help. Ozy on TikTok, it won't let me pin your comment, but you said can you change your attorney? So look, folks, you can change your attorney if you, for any reason or no reason at all. Look, if you're a client right now and you didn't like the way I dressed, you can fire me. Our contract is very flexible in that sense. Okay. But of course, it would be our pleasure to assist you from start to finish. So I'm not here to step on any attorney's toes here. But look, if you're not getting the service that you think you were going to receive at the time that you signed up with them, try to have a conversation first. But we do get a lot of inquiries from people who say, like, John, I did try to talk to them, but they don't freaking call me back or schedule a meeting, invite you to a meeting. And I feel like that's sad, unfortunately. It's very sad. I've talked to a lot of immigration attorneys in general. I just got back from a conference last week. But of course, the people I meet are usually the people that don't have any of those customer service issues. The people that have that customer service issues are the ones that, I hate to say, if I charge 5G, but someone else charges 2G or 1G, you got to really think about that. I forgot I could use G. Okay. Hopefully the platforms don't ban me because I said that. All right, cool, Elaine. You're watching from Jamaica. I hope I got that country right. Okay. Soccer lovers. Hey, what's your favorite team right now, soccer lovers? Um, you heard that some case of marriage interviews waived. That is correct. Since 2023, January. Does that mean your I-130 interview or 45 interview or both? So generally speaking, there's only one interview. If anyone only filed I-130, you would typically only be interviewed if a person has a court hearing. Okay. But when you have I-130 and 45 filed, we call affirmatively, more or less at the same time, then you're only going to have one interview minimum. Now, some people might have a second or third interview, but that's usually because USCIS thinks there's something shady going on. So if you get a second interview notice, folks, and the first one was not canceled, you actually showed up, that's another sign that you may want to contact an immigration attorney to actually consider authorizing them to represent you to prepare. Because I know y'all think it's piece of pie. No, I know y'all don't know differently. Y'all know that's why you're here, to make sure you get you're guided to the next step correctly. Let's see here. Well, TikTok won't even let me go all the way back up. Okay. Bertha, why won't it let me pin a comment? Anyway, Bertha, you mentioned parole in place extension. Parole, I think you're talking about something else, man. You're talking about humanitarian parole because parole in place always exists. It doesn't have an expiration date in that sense. You said hopefully U.S. with undoc. Um, I don't know what you mean, but hopefully, but you have U.S. On your undocumented parents included. So, but yeah, happy to chat more if you're interested. I don't know if it's for you or for someone else, but because I do recognize your name from a couple of days ago, I think. Okay, let me switch over different. Okay, Suna on YouTube. Good afternoon. Your husband filed for you and your son in December 21. You're in Jersey. Okay, folks. All right. Let me be straight again. If you have a case that you filed December 2022, maybe let's just say January 2023 or earlier than that, okay? Because I think I saw a comment like 2021, 2022, and you're in the US, you need to contact us, okay? I think somewhere here, there's website, link, there's a lot of ways you can contact us. You're on If you believe in a higher being, okay, God or no God, you believe in something, okay, you have been on this channel for a reason. You're on this channel for a reason. I'm telling it to you straight. If your case has been delayed that long, and especially if you're in the US and you filed a 45, you really need to consider a mandamus lawsuit. Because, yes, you have due process rights. USCIS will process the case to a decision. Okay. Now, of course, we'll take a look at your facts of your case and we'll let you know. Actually, you may want to, we might say we may want to wait at least 2 more months before we file a lawsuit. Because if you file too early, then the assigned U.S. attorney will let us know, like, John, you filed too early. Fortunately, for these 485 cases, we haven't had that issue. Okay, we want to tell it to you straight. December 2021, and you're in Jersey. Let's talk. Okay, and this is for you and your son. You need to get your legal status, folks. Don't be waiting around. Not too long. You got places to travel, especially your family. Where do y'all want to visit, by the way? Once you get your legal status, where do y'all want to visit? If you got kids, hopefully your kids didn't say Disney Cruise. Great, now I'm going to get Disney Cruise ads. It was bound to happen. Okay. Now, well, Nocturna. I don't know why I won't let me pin comments here on TikTok anymore right now. Maybe because I have so many I need to get through. Okay, your husband came here at 9 years old, through a visa, and overstayed. Can he get fixed? By the way, our Spanish website is fixmypapers.us. So if anyone is a Spanish speaker or you know someone a Spanish speaker needs information, go to our other website, fixmypapers.us. Okay, your husband came here at 9 years old, through a visa, and overstayed. Can he get fixed? Well, Nocturna, do you have legal status? No, it's a lot better pathway wise if you're a US citizen. Okay, so if you're a resident right now, Nocturna, or anyone else, you're a resident right now, I highly encourage you at the time that you're eligible to apply to become a US citizen. That will allow your spouse to waive the unlawful presence and possibly have the interview here in the United States. Of course, we need to review your information, your situation. Now, don't go on filing your case because of what I just said online. You need to talk to Immigration Attorney 101. Look, I know some of y'all want someone in person. If you're not in Houston, Texas, or Dallas, I get it. You want someone in person, contact us anyway. We can point you in the right direction. We know plenty of immigration attorneys. Just give us a chat. We love chatting with y'all. Okay. I mean, I do. It's clearly why I'm on live show every day. Elaine, how after filing, how about how long will the process take? Well, what did you file, Elaine? Let me go back up. Okay, looks like you filed. If you're going to file for your mother or her mother? I don't know exactly who. His mother, I guess maybe your spouse's mother. So, with a petition, with a family preference petition, it can take at least 2 years minimum. So it's gonna take a long time. But you wanna stay tuned, Elaine, for our webinar about family preference, okay? And we should have a video on that platform that you're on YouTube, about Visa Bulletin. It's gonna take a while, probably at least 3 years. Okay, thanks for the follow, folks. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your questions. And even attorneys or other legal staff joining in, welcome, welcome. How y'all doing? Love sharing information here. I am more the merrier, okay? Okay, let's see here. Luis on TikTok. Your I-90 got a 10-year renewal going on for pending for 2 years. Holy, you're not the only one. Folks, if you've been waiting 2 years plus on an I-90, okay, you either two options here. You file a mandamus lawsuit because US has taken a hell of a long time, or you file to become a United States naturalized U.S. citizen. Okay, if you're eligible. Sometimes the timing might not match up, but it should because if you need to renew, now I'm not saying remove condition a 2 year within 3 months of a 2 year mark is different than the purpose of that is different than renewing your residency, okay, which is I-90 form. So I've heard a lot about the I-90 taking a long time right now, 2 years. Man, folks, the I-90 is just a rubber stamp, folks. But why does it take so long? Because USCIS does not care, okay? And when they don't care, you need to know that so you can feel more comfortable to file a lawsuit. Don't be scared. We do this every day. A lot of attorneys I talk to do this every day. It's not like what do we call that? Like a mystery. This is a common thing that attorneys do. Does now check this out. Not immigration attorney handles mandamus lawsuits for case delays. We're one of a few. You have to be certified in your local court or any other court that you file. Like I'm not certified in every single federal court. So we work with local counsel that actually charges way less than they would if they were to charge you to do it. So that's why it works out. It's a win-win. And plus, I would love to believe, knock on wood, that our customer service is outstanding. 5-star, top notch. That's the way I train a team. Okay, so Coda on YouTube. You have a friend who won the DV lottery in USA. He is in the US and got married to USA citizen. Ooh, but getting divorced with her. He has no status in USA, but he's got a student visa now. He wants to apply for DV lottery green card. He needs a status in the USA to apply for it. What do you advise? So since he's here on student visa, from what I understand, as long as a person who won diversity visa is able to, um, some people ask, can the person adjust status in the U.S.? I'm not familiar with all the diversity visa rules, but it's possible. For one thing, you have to maintain status. If the person overstayed, there's no go on that. But of course, the default would be consular processing. Okay, um, so we'll double check that for you. Okay, or for your friend. So please ask your friend or fill out the form for your friend. Share a phone number, however is easy for your friend. Okay. No, I'll answer your question and the other question in a bit. Trini Levin, what's up? Okay, now let's make pin the comment. Where are we located? We are, if you're interested, and want to come visit Houston, that's where we're at. We got a physical office, primary physical office in Houston, Texas. Okay. Now, of course, if you're in the area, let me know. I actually ran into one of our audience members here at the Dallas court. I think it was Dallas court. So if you see me on the streets, welcome to say hi. Don't be a stranger. Hope you all are doing well. But yeah, Trini Levin, you're on TikTok. So the best way is to click our profile, follow there, and click the link under the profile picture. Um, just let you know, especially if you're just now joining on right now, let me introduce myself. My name is John Ting. I'm the managing attorney of Ting Law Group to help you solve your immigration problem, to help you secure your legal status in the United States to live and work in America legally. Because, we got to appease the conservative folk because they're a little concerned about the illegals. Okay. So to each their own. Okay. Let me see here. Thank you so much for your questions. I apologize if I can't answer all of them. What happened here? Well, okay, so it won't let me go all the way down to the older comments. So now I understand why y'all copy and paste your questions. But if y'all do that, if y'all copy and paste your questions on TikTok, then it's more likely I'm gonna miss the older ones. So please don't copy and paste. Lilims Nelly, what if she's too stubborn to call after approval? Call who's she? I may have missed your prior comment. Um, who's too stubborn to call after approval? Interesting. Let's see here. Um, Fatuma, is it current for you, Fatuma? Um, if it's not current, then but if it's current, let me see. You just checked the visa bulletin, F2B, moved to, oh, okay. So you just said in April, and yours is in 10. So I would check every month, okay? And so that has to be chart A. And so you want to make sure you're documentary qualified, okay? So if anyone has a case where someone is abroad outside the United States and you have the NVC case number, invoice number, you paid for it, you filled out the DS-260, click submit, you're waiting. The next email you're waiting for is documentary qualified. That your interview is you're going to be in the queue for the interview. Okay, but the key thing for you, Fatuma, on YouTube is that PD October 2016 is yours, and right now F2B. You gotta check. Okay, what is your follow-up comment? Current and filing chart, but not final action. Yeah, you gotta be. It's gotta be current and final action for you since you're abroad. Thanks for the update on that. All right, what's up? What's up? I always love to welcome anyone to the show, even including attorneys. I think it's important that we all helping you to get your legal status. So anything I can do to impart knowledge on anyone else, and I always love to receive information. So don't be shy, folks. Let's see here. Leslie, you said your dad on TikTok. Your dad adopted you, and you're supposed to be automatically a citizen. Okay, so we call it automatic derivative for citizenship, and you're currently a resident. So I'm glad you're a resident at least. Have you talked to an attorney about making sure that you actually should be automatic derivative? Because don't want to say you're assuming that, but let's double check. Okay, those laws are actually way more complicated, one of the complex situations because the laws, US Immigration Nationality Act laws, have changed not like every year, but I think the last one in the 90s, I believe, related to citizenship. But other than that, it changed like every 20 years. It seemed like 70s and the 50s, if I recall. Hi, Sana. You can call about, oh, off the air. Off the air calls. I know some other people. You can call this number right up here. Okay. I know, and if you especially join in other platforms of ours, we do have a couple different numbers, but you're welcome to call this one if you're on YouTube. Let's see here. Your son's 16. Oh, yeah, we need to chat soon then. Okay. So keep in mind, the first person you talk to is not an attorney. Just to just to check in with you on that because there's a couple people that get the assumption for some reason that they think they're going to be talking to an attorney first. That is not the case. In fact, even the second person might not be an attorney. But check this out. I know, unfortunately, I don't have my degrees here, but it's in the other location. But here's the deal. You're welcome. We have an email to share our that I'm a lawyer, licensed attorney in Texas. Okay. The short answer is you can look me up on texasbar.com. You can look us up on Google. I have a Google business profile page. Dallas and Houston together, we have over 300 five-star reviews. Okay. And you'll read that and you'll see that we really care about customer service. And of course, the result getting you the legal status. There's a lot of attorneys out there, so you just take your time, find the right one. But don't take too long because you wait too long, that timing of your case might expire. Some of y'all don't know that, but sometimes when there's a delay in a situation because someone didn't file, it might be too late for you. Let's see. Oh, okay, Sophia Rodriguez, how long is NVC taking to approve your case after approval of 601 and give the interview date? Of course, you have to depend on the country because of the number of applicants. But number one, congrats on your 601A approval because that probably took you 3 years at least to wait for that sucker. So, as I mentioned earlier, you have to make sure you do all the steps needed to be documented qualified for your case. Now, if you have not been documented qualified, you don't know what that is, then that's a really good sign that you need to consider authorizing an immigration attorney to help you. Okay. Let's see here. Now, let me see if I can answer more questions. Let's see. Okay. Thank you so much for your patience. Raven on TikTok, how long does BIA take for asylum appeal result? It's not, it can be any case before, it's not so much asylum appeal, but in general, uh, at least 2 to 3 years minimum. Unfortunately, it takes a long, long time. Even waiting for when you file request to appeal, the bill we call it notice of appeal, attorneys don't generally file the brief because that's a quick turnaround after removal hearing from immigration court. It's 30 days. So immigration attorneys generally file the brief later and they wait for the what we call briefing deadline. We get the notice in the mail, and sometimes even that could take a year for you to receive that. Okay, let's see here. Oh, okay. TikTok said I've been on for an hour. So, all right. So, just want to mention here again, if you're just now joining, welcome. My name is John Ting. I practice immigration law. I'm managing attorney of Ting Law Group. So, if you have any questions, you're considering to um, look for a lawyer, right, for your case. Maybe you're stuck. You don't know if you're stuck. On TikTok, at least, you click on a profile right here. Sometimes it pops up below. Click on a profile page and click the link below. All righty. Now we do have a reservation fee of this amount, which is a lot lower than other attorneys, and it's less than a cup of coffee, folks. Oops, let's see. Let me go over here. This other platform. Thank you so much for your questions. Let me hop on over. Okay, Yazan on YouTube. Visa officer informed you that F1 visa applicant is under AP. He said no information is needed, however, kept your passport. Is it good news? So far, it's good news. Sounds like you literally just had an interview last week or so. Um, but I don't want you to think like it's like perfect scenario per se, because they don't usually issue visas that quickly anymore. It's still going to take some time. So especially if you're in a Pakistan or Middle Eastern country, it's going to take more time. But just because they keep your passport does not necessarily mean they're going to issue the visa soon. Okay. And it may even depend when your semester starts for school. If your school's not starting anytime soon, then they have less reason to issue the visa sooner. Okay, unfortunately. So hopefully that gives you a better idea, a little bit more realistic. I wish I could give you wonderful news. Okay, Lamine Ba, or I think that's how I pronounce your name. Your mom applied for you the I-130 when you were 21 years old. If you want, you're an F2A or F2B? Well, sounds like you're over 21 years old, then you're going to drop down to the F2B category. And depending if your mom becomes a citizen, then that may go to the F1 category. So um, it's a lot of actually a lot of strategy. So before, if you're considering to get married, you might have to tell your Pookie Bear to hold on because it could delay your case more. And if your mom wants to become a citizen, it could delay your case more or slightly speed it up. So it just depends. Depends on the timing. I can't say like a straight answer because it just literally depends on the timing of everyone's case. Alrighty. Hey, Azan from West Bank. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so I've got to have team meetings soon, so I will be able to answer two more questions. Thank you so much for your trust. Khaleesi on TikTok. Is there an interview if you already received your green card? No, there no interview. So congratulations, you should be good to go. The thing is, you want to make sure you got the approval notice, which it would make sense you got the approval notice before the green card, but you never know. Sometimes USCIS is a bit wacko. Um, I was just talking to someone, a client the other day, and they mentioned that when they should have received a green card in a conditional resident status, USCIS actually gave him or her a 10-year status, permanent. So fortunately, able to get that corrected. So you may think like, oh, it's a wonderful thing, but you've got to get it corrected so that it's not you don't get affected in the future. Um, Young Keith, love to talk about CSPA, but we'll add that to the webinar topic. Let me message that to my marketing team. But this show is meant to be a lot more long depth conversation. But if you want to know about more about CSPA, you got to ask a specific question, or you want to know if you qualify still, even with Child Status Protection Act, you got to schedule a meeting. Okay, that would be a paid consultation type situation, and provide us all the dates necessary. Okay, date of birth, date of approval on I-130, and the date of your prior date was current. Alrighty. All right, I can answer one more question here. Thank you so much for your trust. And I'm going to be trying my best to be live tomorrow, by the way. It might not be at noon, so we'll see. We'll try. So, with that being said, follow on your respective channels so you get the future notification when I go live. Let's see. Someone asked, "Can I explain visa?" And for y'all, anyone that asks, "Can I explain something like a certain process, like long, like one of those long cases?" I guess you could say, or you're wondering if you're eligible. The best thing to do really is just send us a DM because I'm not gonna. It takes too long for me to cover it in a quick manner here. Okay. Okay. So last question of the hour, or good afternoon. Can you stop unlawful presence with U visa and work permit? Um, the day it gets granted. So it's when you get the work permit for U visa, the notice should say deferred action, meaning yes, what you're asking for is that the unlawful presence stops the counting of those days. Okay. Now, so hopefully you received approval for that already, or at least the deferred action letter, even if it's before the work permit. So it's not always necessarily the actual work permit. You could get the letter beforehand, the deferred action letter. Okay. All right. Hopefully that helps. Folks, thank you so much for your trust. I really appreciate it. Now, if you're interested, if you appreciate the way we share or I share information, I like to say we because of team, but you know what? Give us a follow right here or down below in your respective channel. Greatly appreciate it. And so you can stay tuned for our next live show and go to our link to answer a few questions and schedule a meeting. And yes, there is a reservation fee in this amount, okay? It's way less than other attorneys and less than a cup of coffee. Can you believe that? All right, y'all have a wonderful day and y'all take care. Bye bye. Peace.